Namaste, I am Anita Goa. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you a yin/restorative practice, and I'm titling it Restore to Re-emerge. As I'm sharing this video today, it is the dark phase of the moon, or balsamic moon. That means the day before a new moon. It's the perfect time to decompress, to do restorative and yin yoga, and to allow yourself just to be in this moment and to be with whatever it is that's happening in your life, whether it's amazing, not so amazing, horrible, anything in between. Just allow it to be and really take care of yourself in the moment. And then from there, you can re-emerge in whichever way will serve you, whether that's for new moon or the next day or the next hour. Use it in whichever way will serve you, and I hope that you will get something out of it. I do have not a lot of tools with me here, but I have blankets, I have blocks, I have bolsters. You can draw in pillows, yoga strap. Make sure that you have some socks so that you feel warm, especially if it's cold where you're at, and see the tutorial that I shared last week on the different tools for restorative yoga in case you're not aware of it. Okay, so let's get started. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe if you find that the content that I'm sharing is of value to you. It would support me a lot. Let's get started. So I'll give you the options. You can either rest back into a constructive resting position, keeping your feet apart, knees together, either resting your arms at the side of your body, or one hand on your belly, another hand on your heart. And you can also feel free to sit in an easy seat position. So we'll stay here for a good 5 minutes, just allowing our back to soften and tune into our breath. Try to keep your mouth closed and just allow your breath to move in and to move out. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Notice the lengths of your inhales and exhales. And as you start to settle, see if you can find an equal breath. Maybe that's 3 counts in, 3 counts out, or 4 counts in, or 4 counts out. Maybe it's 5 counts in, 5 counts out, or even 6 counts in and 6 counts out. Just notice what it is for you. Allow your belly to rise as you inhale. And allow it to go back to normal as you exhale. Just stay with your breath and stay in your position. And I'll read you a little story, which I think is quite apt to what it is that we're trying to work on here in re-emerging. It's a story that's called The Two Wolves. The author is unknown. An elder Native American was teaching his grandchildren about life. He said to them, "A fight is going on inside me. It is a terrible fight, and it is between 2 wolves. One wolf represents fear, anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other stands for joy, peace, love, hope, sharing, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, friendship, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. This same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. They thought about it for a minute, and then one child asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The elder simply replied, "The one you feed." I love that story so much, and it's so true. Whichever one it is that we're choosing to feed. So as you put yourself in this position of a constructive rest, and you're staying here, being supported by your breath, and we will be going through various other positions, notice within yourself which side you're on. Notice within yourself which side you are choosing to feed. Without judgment, just allow it to be exactly what it is for now. And then you can make your own choices and decisions of how to proceed and how to re-emerge. Deepen your breath and draw your feet together, maybe toe heel them together. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good little hug. Cup your hands around the knees, maybe. Draw the knees away from your chest. Lift your head and see if you can slowly, gradually roll yourself up to a seated position. If you're already in a seated position, no worries. Good. Now we're going to go towards a wall if you have a wall or something to lean against. But even if you don't, that is completely fine. And we're going to do what's called the dangle for 3 minutes. And here, if you want to have something to support your head against, is really, really nice for grounding. So I'll lean my bum against the wall, keeping the legs open as wide as I need them to feel support. So you want to feel like your torso is resting over your legs, feeling the walls supporting you. And depending on your flexibility, just build up any bolster or block or pillows to support your head if you want it. Otherwise, you can just let your head dangle. That's why it's called the dangle. You can let the arms dangle as well. And just stay here, stay with your breath. Feel free to close your eyes if you wish. Just allow the blood to stream down into the head. This can feel calming, it can feel uplifting at the same time. And turning ourselves upside down gives this wonderful new perspective, right? And if you want to interlace the fingers and stretch the arms up and over your head, you also have that available to you. So the whole idea here with Yin Yoga and Restorative Yoga is to put yourself in a position that you can support for a longer period of time. Staying with your breath and just releasing any tension, any tightness that you might be experiencing at this moment. And what we're practicing here is the yama called aparigraha,
This translates to non-grasping, where we try to release and let go instead of holding on or grasping or being possessive of what no longer serves us. Maybe just for the sheer fact that we've lived with it for such a long time, we know what it is. And it can feel scary to let go of it because we don't know what might be in store. But a parigraha tells us that what we hold on to holds on to us. So use your exhalations to release, let go of what no longer serves you, so that it no longer has a hold on you. Good, and slowly, gradually, just lift your head and take a block and place it underneath your seat. 1 or 2 blocks, however many blocks it is that you need. Coming into a squatting position. And I love to do this one against the wall, just really lifting the chest, dropping the shoulders down, let the feet and the pelvis get heavy. You might feel like a renewed sense of flow in your head, in your brain. And staying in this position, I'm going to come up a little bit higher actually. So this is one thing that's important in these positions, is that you adjust yourself according to exactly how you feel. So I lean forward, I take my thumbs, palms together. I'm going to place my thumbs right in between my eyebrows. Let my head get a bit heavy against the eyebrows. And you might feel a little pressure there. And then draw the thumbs along the eyebrows. Just go slowly. And if you feel some tension, some tightness, pause. And then moving towards your temples and pausing there. Maybe do a little circular movement. Good. And slowly lift your head. That feels so good, right? Then make some fists with your hands. And then take your fists right underneath your cheekbones. And find that little groove. And right there in that groove is where the masseter muscle is, our chewing muscle. And then again, lean forward. Make your head quite heavy. But see if you can loosen your jaw, loosen your mouth. And maybe you want to just hold it still, letting the knuckles dig in, and you might feel something, a little something, something. But if it feels good, maybe rock your head a little bit side to side so that you change the pressure. And maybe you want to sort of grind the knuckles a little bit into that masseter. Just experiment, explore. But as you stay, the more soft your jaw becomes and your lips, the more you'll start to drool. And that's a good sign. It induces relaxation. Good. Then slowly. Then lastly, take your thumb and your first finger and rub your ear lobes. And then go up along your ear, like just squeezing them a little bit. And if you find some areas where it feels extra sore, just pause there for a moment, maybe pull your ears a little bit. And then I like to take the cup of my hand just gently and then go over it like this. And release. Brings on a very warm sensation and just softens the whole entire face. Pardon my hair. I'm in need of a haircut. Good. And I hope that you feel a little release and a softening sensation in your neck and also in your shoulders. Now we're going to lie down on the floor for threading the needle. You can also do this against a chair. I'll show you a cutaway of that. And also against the wall, if you want to do that as well. And so crossing the right ankle on top of the left thigh, so at the bottom of the thigh, above the knee. And you can hold the left leg lifted. You can keep it relaxed. You can slide your hands through. All right, and finding whichever position feels good for you. And we're actually going to stay here for 5 minutes. As you found the position that feels comfortable for you, notice how your right hip feels. Maybe reflect for a little moment on what you might be holding on to in that right hip. Especially if that right hip feels tense, a bit stagnant. Try to stay with your breath. See if you can continue to find the equal breath, noticing if the length of your inhale and exhale has changed. And as the work is being done in your right hip, just allow the arms to relax. Allow your back body to relax and soften. Releasing any gripping. Just notice the thoughts coming and going. Notice what thoughts distract you, which want to grab your attention more. Notice what thoughts keep coming back, or which thoughts you've never thought about in a long time. Thoughts are very good at that when we become quiet. When we settle into ourselves. But remember that thoughts are just thoughts. You don't have to believe everything that you think. Noticing that the longer we're asked to stay in the stillness, in the silence, the more active maybe the mind or the thoughts become. The more urgent it might seem to get out of the position. But what if you could try to settle, sink in, settle in. Stay a little longer. Because it's usually in those moments when we want to stop, we want to quit, we want to get out of it. But if we stay a little bit longer, that's maybe where the breakthrough happens. Okay, slowly now you can release out of this. That was 5 minutes. Of course, if you want to stay a little bit longer, feel free. Just rest back into the constructive rest just for a moment to just let that right hip settle in. And then let's repeat this on the other side. Cross the left ankle on top. Use a chair or a wall if you want to. And notice how this side feels. And adjust yourself accordingly. And we'll stay for 5 minutes here as well. So it's such a simple, but yet such a profound practice. Yin Yoga and Restorative Yoga. Doesn't ask anything other of us than to be. To be exactly who it is that we are in this moment. To allow what is happening at this moment to be exactly what it is. But of course, to our busy minds, to our opinionated minds, to our ego, that's easier said than done. We know what we have. We know what we had. But it's challenging for the mind to accept what is and allow it to be, and maybe gradually resolve and transform into something new so we can re-emerge over onto the other side with renewed experience. But this is where the essence of the yoga practice is. This is where our work is at, to not run away, to train ourselves to be comfortably uncomfortable, or find our comfort within the discomfort. So allow yourself to adjust yourself along the way. Find that position where you can fully breathe, where you can allow yourself to be exactly who you are in this moment. Allow what is to be in this moment without gripping or grasping. Practicing aparigraha, non-grasping. Lessen the grip. So whatever might be grasping you or gripping you has less of a grasp or grip on you. And again, there comes that time when you just want to get out of it. And sometimes that's the right thing to do. But see maybe how you can stretch the edge. How can you adjust? How can you soften before you do? Notice which areas of your body might be tensing up because other areas of the body feels tense or under pressure. How can you soften those areas? How can you allow those areas to support you? Good, and slowly deepen your breath. And release yourself out. Return back to constructive rest. Notice how your left hip feels. And notice how your right hip feels. And gradually toe heel your feet together. And just turn over onto your left side, just gently to push yourself up to a seated position. How you feeling? Now we're going to do a reclined bound angle position, or reclined butterfly. So what I like to do is to use blocks behind my bolster. like this. You can of course use pillows here. I like also to, as you keep your soles of your feet together, and I like to keep a block on the bottom and one of these foam blocks on an angle, which feels a little bit softer for my knees. And then I'm going to take a blanket and roll it up into one of these long cylinder shapes. And I'm going to place that around my ankles for support. Now, what you can also do is if you want to put on some socks. It's definitely getting colder here in London, so I'll put on some socks. But you can drape blankets over you. And then I go from the top. That's what I like to do. And being that this is a little bit long, I can slide it under. So I'm creating a little bit of a pretzel shape here. And then if there's a little bit more fabric left, you can move it over your feet to stay warm. Then next, what you can do is you drape yourself over the bolster. Make sure that it's comfortable for your lower back. I like to use one of these pillows that a client of mine made for me years and years ago in New York. I love it. And keep a eye pillow next to you as well. Now for the arms, I have different suggestions. So you can take a yoga strap, keep it wide, and then you can let the arms rest at the side, maybe interlace your fingers, and you can hold it like this. Or you can use a blanket here, and also keep a third blanket with you to drape over your body. Now, I love this one. So you also need to make sure that you have it on the long width here, so that you have enough fabric to support yourself. And it becomes a little bit like a cast for the arms. So you drape it over you like this. And that way, that will support your arms. And you can keep your hands on your belly. Oh, and this feels so juicy. So just spend a little bit of time to find the right position for yourself, because we'll be staying here for a good 10 minutes. It can get a little bit hard to you can do it all on your own, but it will be nice to have a little assistant, right? But we manage. We are resourceful. All right, so once you've found your position, just allow your back to soften against the bolster or whatever is supporting you. Allow your legs to soften against whatever is supporting your legs. Soften your eyes, soften your lips. Allow your shoulders to drop. Make sure that you've put yourself in a position where you feel really yummy. You feel really comfortable. And the interesting thing is, even when we feel super comfortable and we've found the right position. Sometimes when we stay in that zone for some time, we might find discomfort, right? Isn't that ironic? That the growth might not always happen in the comfort. It often happens in the discomfort. So I mentioned the yama, aparigraha, non-possessiveness. Trying not to hold on to things that no longer serve, that drain you for energy, that weigh you down. And the more we can allow ourselves to release and let go of those things, we can move with lightness. We can move with ease. We can maybe move with peace and joy, harmony. Feed that side. So in these moments, as we allow ourselves to become quiet and still, we get to practice svadhyaya. And that translates as introspection. This is a moment to pay attention. Only you know. Only you know how you feel. Only you know what you need. But should you feel like you don't know, continue the practice of solitude, of being quiet and still. Allow the answers to come to you. Allow the events to unfold. Allow, if you will, the universe to share it with you. Stay open to it. Allow it to emerge. I'll go quiet now so you can absorb it all. Stay with your breath. Allow the thoughts to come and go. Notice what consumes you. Just allow it to be exactly what it is. Okay, slowly deepen your breath. And gradually come out of this juicy position. Ah, how amazing, wasn't that? Of course, if you want to stay longer, feel free to stay longer. Just move gradually. And roll yourself over to your left side. Just push the bolsters, push the obstacles away with kindness, with gentleness, right? No need to be rude about it. And if you want to find that constructive rest position again, or if you want to extend your legs and find a little Shavasana position, feel free. We'll stay here just for a few moments. Notice how you feel now compared to how you felt in the beginning. Notice if a shift has happened. You don't have to have found all of the answers in this session. The purpose of this is just to slow down, to deregulate the nervous system, to move more into your being mode and give that doing mode a bit of a break, to nurture and take care of yourself at all times, and especially during challenging times. And if you want to stay in Shavasana or rest on the floor a little bit longer, feel free, pause the video and stay for as long as you want to. If you're ready to come out of it, toe heel your feet together, draw your knees into your chest, turn over to your left side and push yourself up to a seated cross-legged position. If you want to rest your hands on your heart, palms together. Remember back to the beginning. Remember the two wolves. Reflect back into your practice and what came up for you. Whatever appeared for you, make your own choice of what you want to feed. It's completely up to you. Whatever will serve you in the best way possible. Give yourself as much time as you need. Try to trust the process. If it's very challenging right now, this too shall pass. That's what I'm saying to myself anyway. Touch your forehead and heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that it was helpful in some way. And I hope that you will re-emerge
in whichever way will serve you in the best way possible. Yes, go for it. Go for it. I'll see you in the next video and let me know how this felt.